Good morning. This is Jenny joining you for Cards and Coffee this morning. I hope that some of you have grabbed a cup and will join us. Let's see, it looks like my light is flickering, so I'm going to fix that. Oh, maybe it's the sunshine. I think that's what it is. We'll fix it's too much sun coming through the window. There we go. I do like the natural light, but it does cause fits on the computer screen. So it's Thursday morning, time for Cards and Coffee, and I told you I was going to show you a new trick. It's really not new, but it was kind of new. I'm not real sure how you want to think about it. So we will start on it in just a minute. And we're going to use Christmas season, but I've pulled out about 5 or 6 more stamp sets that you could do this with that aren't Christmas. So if you're like me, you've just about finished all your Christmas and you don't really want to do any more Christmas. But I needed just a few yesterday, so this is what I came up with. I saw a card similar to this from a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Pennsylvania named Adaku. And I looked at it and I thought, here's the card. That is a lot of stamping. And I wanted to see how I could make it easier on myself. And in about 10 minutes, I had 4 cards. And somebody is chatting me up on Facebook, and it's driving me crazy. I'll try not to look. So I'm going to show you how to do these 4 cards quick and easy. And I thought they came out awfully cute. Even Robert liked them. So let me get started. I have a piece of basic white. You know this is on sale right now. The cardstock is on sale, the ink pads are on sale, and the dies are on sale. So you might want to consider stocking up on some of your favorite cardstock colors. So I'm just going to mark this at 4 1/4 at both sides. Now you'll remember we've done a card like this where we just stamp down the center and cut it in half. We're going to go an extra step here. And we're going to stamp on an axis. Is that what it would be called? Need to be straight there, kind of. And I'm just doing a light pencil mark. I'm going to do the same thing here at 5 1/2. And another pencil mark. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it here and draw these lines just because I know I need this space for my sentiment, and I don't want to go into that space a whole lot. And all these pencil marks will either get stamped over or erased. Good morning, Karen. Oh, I wish I was at St. Simon's. I bet it's beautiful there right now. Are you going to spend Thanksgiving there? That's one of my favorite holidays to spend on a vacation. So now we have these crossbars and then some angles just to give us some guidance. And we're just going to start stamping. We're going to build and build and build. I'm going to start with soft succulent. That's going to be my fir branches, pine branches. Not real sure what. We'll try to get that card where you can see it. And we're just going to start in the corners here. This is my kind of, I love stamping. You know, I use dies because we have them, but I personally just love stamping. Now we're going to continue on our line. Do you see how this is going to be on two different cards? So you're not having to double dip. You can just stamp once and do 2 cards. Stamp twice and do 4 cards. And there's one more pine bough stamp that we can add a couple more branches. Since this is just stamping, it's fine for it to overlap. I'm jealous that you're at the pool. The weather's been pretty here. It's been really windy, but pretty. So when you go out, you have to hold on to your hat or your scarf or whatever. Now we're ready to do a little more. We can, we'll put this to the side because we might want to do a little extra fill. Let's see, where's my greens? So we'll start with Old Olive. And we're going to use the larger image that I don't see. Let's see if it's in the case. Oh, there it is. How about that? I washed these yesterday, so put some of them away. Now we'll just put, see, we're just barely crossing over our angled line there. This looks like a mess, doesn't it? Promise it's going to come out to be 4 pretty cards. And we can put some here on our X. I guess that's not an X, it's a cross. And we'll see it's getting some on each card now. Okay, yeah, we'll probably want to fill in again with that. We'll wait and see. Now I'm using Granny Apple Green, And there's some mistletoe here. So we're going to put a little mistletoe on our card. This is a distinctive stamp, so it has the shading already built in. Now right here, I'm probably put, yeah, a little bit there, and we'll just kind of wait and see how that works out. We'll put a little there. Now we're ready for some pine cones, and we have the first stamp. This is double stamping, and then the shaded one. So our first one is going to be crumb cake. And gotta make sure I'm seeing those lines. Trying to nestle them right inside those pine boughs. And now we'll put our second layer with soft suede. Give it a little, make it look like more like a pine cone. This is a little tricky stamping these sideways. I need to turn the paper so I can see. And now we're ready to do a little surgery. We can go ahead and erase our lines. I think you can hear my table rattling. I don't know what's rattling over there. There we go. All right, now let me get my paper trimmer. And we're going to cut at 5 1/2. And 4 1/4. Now we do need to make these a little bit smaller. We can do 2 at a time. Yeah. So we're going to trim the white edge down to 4. And then 5 1/4. That way we can put our red border around it. I like to kind of look at this and see if it needs, like right here, we need a little more. And I think I could have used a little more of each of these. It's better to be a little light-handed so you don't make a mess, because you can always come back and add. I like to stamp off here and give a more shaded look. I'll put a little there. It's really like your wreath on your door, or on your banister at home. Your garland. I was trying to think of that word. Definitely need more there. It's pretty quick and easy to just add in here. Now, just use your eyeball. This one kind of got off there, so that can be fixed, can it? We'll put a much darker one there. And let's see, I think we could use... Okay, now we're ready to finish these off. I pulled the sentiments from the Poinsettia set because it talked about blooming. May the magic and wonder bloom this holiday. I kind of thought that went with this. Now let's make sure it's straight. Not quite. Let's try it again. And yeah, so we can put this right here. That's the scary thing. These need to be straight. Well, the sentiment should be straight. Sometimes you can put a label over things, but other times, not so much. And we've got some berries. We'll just add those in. Just wherever you think they look pretty. Make sure you turn your stamp so your berries are not all exactly the same. That one. And now we can put a tiny bit of saffron on here. Kind of like a sparkle, a little bit of sparkle. And mostly I just stamped it off, just so you can barely see this little bit of sparkle. It would be fun if we had gold to sparkle in there, wouldn't it? Or silver, some little snow. Freckles, that's what they look like. Snow freckles. Okay. And the only other thing I did to this, which I really didn't have to do, is I did one little wink of Stella on my berries. So I frosted them, and that's pretty quick. A little bit of sparkle never hurts. And you could sprinkle some rhinestones in here if you wanted to really have some glitter. I chose to keep it a little more simple than usual. I love Wink of Stella. You see how it just adds a little bit of shine there? Put 3 little rhinestones underneath the sentiment and be kind of cute. Really is just your preference. Thank goodness we don't all have to follow rules when we make our cards. I am a rule follower, but no, not on my cards. Now we're ready to put this together. So I have some real red, that's 4 1/8 and 5 3/8, and we'll just create our card. I'm going to stand the inside first, because if I mess it up, I can flip the card. And on the inside, I've just used plain Merry Christmas. Make sure that's nice and inky. This is very traditional colors, isn't it? Red and green. Now we're going to put a soft succulent pine bough in the corner. And some red berries. So apparently I don't have to flip this card. It seems to have made it. Isn't this a great stamping technique, Leanne? Especially if it's the day before you need to get everything in the mail and you realize, oh, I need 4 more cards. And you can do this. Or if you need to make cards for your neighbors as a gift, then that would work. So now you see how I created this. Let's see if that's, I think that one goes here and that one goes here. So we stamped all of them first and then cut, and we end up with 4 cards. I'm not real happy with the way that sentiment stamped, so that might get a label on top of it. So here's this card. I think you could do the same thing with these cherry blossom flowers. You could put them in the corners with leaves and blossoms going down the side. Definitely we could do it with Forever Fern. I think you could do it with Flowers of Friendship. Put this one in the corner and stamp around the lines. You could certainly, you know, you would stamp this one in the center and then you would cut it, and then these leaves and the little sunflower on the sides. Might have to try that today. Certainly could do it with the poinsettias. Run them all down the corners. And I think for something totally different, in symmetry, you could put this in the 4 corners. So we'll have to try that one. And for another Christmas or winter, snowflakes, and run them down the lines. So look at your stamp sets today and see, or tomorrow, Karen, and see how you can use them for this technique. I would love to see how you do it and share with us, because it's really kind of fun and quick. That's my favorite thing. So thanks for joining me for Cards and Coffee this morning, and I will be back on my business page on Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye.